Now that you've had a chance to practice lowercase a and lowercase d, let's work on the uppercase a and uppercase d. So scholars, I'd like you to start by watching my trace and try. Right? Just helping, or not helping, watching me as I work on them. Okay? So remember again, slant of your paper. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to slant this way. If you're right-handed, you want your paper slanted a bit this way to help with that slant of your cursive writing. So I'm starting at the top line, curve around a baseline, up to the top line, back to the baseline, kick out tail. Watch as I try one. Starting at the top line, curving to the baseline, up to the top line, back to the baseline, kick out tail. Right? So really, scholars, you want to make sure you're getting a good curve on this, and you want to make sure you're closing up here when you come back to the top line. Watch me trace another one. Starting at the top line, curving to the baseline, back up to the top line, down to the baseline, kick out tail. Watch me try one. Starting at the top line, curving to the baseline, up to the top line, back to the baseline, kick out tail. Do you feel like you're ready to try one with me? Let's trace and try together. Pencils up. Check the slant of your paper. Starting at the top line, curving to the baseline, up to the top line, down to the baseline, kick out tail. Let's try one. Big deep breath. Here we go. Starting at the top line, curving to the baseline, up to the top line, down to the baseline, kick out tail. All right, we're going to trace. Ready? Starting at the top line, curving to the baseline, up to the top line, down to the baseline, kick out tail. Let's try another. Here we go. Starting at the top line, curving to the baseline, up to the top line, back to the baseline, down to the baseline, kick out tail. Now, scholars, you want to be careful and make sure you're not curving here on this part that I'm showing you right here, because if you curve that too much, you're going to look like you're making an O, and O, that would not be good. One more pair of trace and try before you start on your own. Starting at the top line, we're going to trace. Curving to the baseline, up to the top line, down to the baseline, kick out tail. All right, scholars, we're going to work together to make this one the best we've done yet. Fortitude, here we go. Starting at the top line, curving to the baseline, up to the top line, down to the baseline, kick out tail. All right. Now remember, scholars, be patient with yourself. It's going to take some temperance. There are 2 lines that you're going to try now. Are you ready? Go ahead and pause. Try those 2 lines, and then press play to continue. All right, how did you do? You'll notice I have a couple that got a little big, perhaps, when I was practicing. But that's all right, right? I tried my best. I hope you tried your best, too. Now, scholars, before we go to the other side and do uppercase D, let's talk for a minute about this part down here at the bottom of your page. So today we don't have any words, but soon these will actually be words. And when you write in cursive, the whole word is connected. Like the letters of the cursive word are connected to each other. And then you pick up your pencil and leave a space in between words. So if these two words were ah, right, we'd leave a space here that we don't connect this part. We just connect the letters in each word. So scholars, to do that, right, you're going to make your letter just as we were practicing and go right into the next letter, just like that. And then you stop and pick up your pencil. Right? That's why we have all those lead-ins and kick-outs. When I've been saying kick-out tail, those kick-out tails connect to the next letters. So you can hear Toby's very excited about that. So I start here, right? Starting at the top line. I curve to the baseline, up to the top line, down to the baseline. Kick out tail leads into the up and over. Swing back to the baseline, up to the middle line, down to the baseline, kick out tail. And remember, you want to do at least 2 of any of these words or letter combinations like that. So then you have one more pair here to do 2 of, and then a pair of these where there's 3 of those. 3 letters, but you want to do 2 sets of those at least as well. All right. You can pause and take care of those. All right, so now you can take a quick look at these 2 at the bottom, right? Seeing where, right, these are connected, but then there's a space, connected, space, right? That's how we write words in cursive. All right, if you flip your paper over or turn back, we're up to the uppercase D. So uppercase D is maybe a little tricky looking, and that's okay. Set your pencil down. I want you to watch my trace and try before we try any of them together. So starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. Right. Watch me make one. Starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. So the key, scholars, as I show you another one, this loop has to be small. Right? You want to make sure you're touching the baseline here and then curving out that belly. And then don't make this wisp of hair too big, right? Think of Mr. Long's hair, right? There's not a whole lot of hair there. So a little wisp of hair and then that kick out tail, right? That touches the top line. So watch me again, starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. Watching me, please. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. Ready to try one? Remember, temperance, be patient with yourself. Treat yourself well. Tracing first. Scholars, check the slant of your paper. Left-handed this way. Right-handed this way. Starting at the top line. Slanting to the baseline. Small loop. Big belly. wisp of hair. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. Take a moment to look at your belly, your small loop, your wisp of hair. Any of those need improving? Right? That's okay. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. All right, we're trying our next one. Pencils ready? Big deep breath. We've got this. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. Do you notice when I bring up the big belly, I go all the way up to that top line and curve around to make the wisp of hair. That's a really important part, isn't it? Tracing another one. Here we go. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. All right, I believe in us. We are going to make our best one yet together. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. All right, scholars, I'm going to have you pause and try 2 more lines of that. Remember, 6 of each. Right? Be patient with yourself. Try your best. Maybe even star the one in each row that you think is your favorite, where it really is your best effort. Right? It's about you trying, not about it looking perfect. Good luck. All right, scholars, how did you do with your uppercase D's? So, D's are my D's right here. Notice I starred a couple of mine that I thought, hey, I think those are the best ones in the row. And scholars, I want to point out that I still have to practice my temperance and try my best as well. If you look at this one, I'd say even this one, right? I had a little trouble with that big belly on both of those, right? So it's still something I have to practice and learn. It's about trying your best, right, and working toward taking your time and doing something beautiful. So we are ready now we have 2 words or combinations down here. I also did these uppercase D's already. You might have to do D's yourself in a little bit. That's okay. But I want to remind you, pencils down for a moment, that when you're writing a word or a combination in cursive, you do the whole thing without picking up your pencil. So if I'm writing da, I'm going to make the D and the A, and then pick up my pencil. And make the D, make the A, and then pick up my pencil. And up and over, swing back to the baseline, up to the top line, down to the baseline, kick out tail, leads into the up and over, swing back around, baseline, up to the middle line, back to the baseline, kick out tail. And remember, you want to write at least 2 of those da. So go ahead and press pause and write those if you need to. And then, scholars, we're at the word dad, our last part of the assignment. Now, I want you to notice that the word dad, the D does not connect to the A, right? If it connected, there'd have to be this line that would drop down here to the lead-in of the A, which would look a lot like there was an L. So don't do that. What you're going to do instead, just watch, set your pencil down for a moment. We're going to make that D that we were just working on with that wisp of hair. Then you're going to actually pick up your pencil and comfortably close, I would say a little closer than it is here. You're going to make your A and your D. So not all of the uppercase letters connect, and you'll learn that as we go. They don't all connect like the lowercase letters do. So, watching again. My wisp of hair, I pick up the pencil, and then I start comfortably close at the baseline, up and over, making my A and my D. Right? Let's try one together. Pencils are up, starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, small loop, big belly, wisp of hair. Pick up your pencil, comfortably close, starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, up to middle line, back to baseline, kick out tail is the up and over, swing back, baseline, up to top line, back down to the baseline, kick out tail. Now, scholars, remember you want to have at least 2 dads written there, right? And then maybe even double check that you have both sides finished. Do any parts that you haven't had a chance to finish. And then you and your family need to take a picture of each side and then submit that for today's cursive assignment. Thanks for joining me. Happy cursive writing!